I know it. Okay, so obviously everybody, you're not supposed to be hungover when you're this young, to be honest. But it's a Monday, 8 a.m., so it's probably more that than anything. Okay. So we'll quickly just, hopefully you guys at least thumb through these, because we finished off, we had a few left from last week, but hopefully you just kind of thumb through them real quick before you did your assignment, just to see if any of them came in play. And then I want to talk about your guys' assignment that you did last week and see what you learned. And then we're going to talk about this week's assignment. Sound good? Cool. Okay. Anybody have anything good that happened this weekend?
Last weekend I got engaged.
You got engaged? Holy cow. Just all of a sudden?
Yep.
Good for you. Congratulations. That's a big deal. Wow. Good for you. That's like, normally it's like, oh, I had the weekend off. Like nobody just hits you on Monday with, I got engaged. So that's pretty solid. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I'm all thrown off. I'm all excited. You got a lot to do. Let's see, what month are we in? February? You're getting married this summer?
No, next summer.
Oh, that's long. We did a long one.
Yeah,
I don't recommend
this is
it.
long because he can't, he's in ROTC and he can't get married till he commissions.
Bingo. Yeah, my brother was in Iraq, so we're kind of waiting. So anyway, all right, cool. That's exciting. All right, I can't remember if we covered this one or not, but read the top line there.
93% of Americans believe
I mean, everybody.
above
Yeah.
average.
Is that true?
Yes.
Statistically, that's impossible, right? How many of you think you're a good driver?
I definitely see some bad drivers this morning.
Yeah. How many of you think everyone else is a terrible driver? Yes. How many of you say horrible things to other cars that you would never say to another person? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're all pretty guilty of that. Okay. A lot of that, honestly, is because most of us rise to a level that we feel comfortable, and then we stop trying to improve. It's usually where that comes from, to be honest. And everybody here from Texas? I mean, not from Texas? I don't know what it is with y'all in blinkers and refusing to use them. Altogether, it's really weird. And if a Texan puts a blinker on, they're just coming over. Like, it's not optional. They're just gonna cut you off. That cracks me up. Okay, so if you're interested in running your own business, this is interesting. All entrepreneurs tend to think they're gonna make it. Like, they're gonna be the one that makes it, right? But most small businesses only last like 5 years if you're lucky. Out of like 10,000 startups, 80 will become like successful, and like 12 will become like an Amazon, right? The point of this one is optimism and pessimism, right? If you're in a good mood, you think good things will happen. If you're in a bad mood, you think bad things will happen. In either case, your emotions are making you irrational, right? And if you don't believe me, then date somebody or marry them, right? You'll see how they act, right? Or they might call you out how you're acting, right? But just be aware of that, okay? The ostrich effect, we don't like bad news. In fact, we will go to great lengths to avoid it and ignore data that challenges our assumptions. Again, you ever been in an argument with somebody and they make a really good point? Do you ever stop and be like, oh, that's a good point, I never thought of it that way? No, you just dig in harder, right? You just say something mean that's not related, okay? Don't do that when you're married or in a relationship. You guys are the worst, we're real dumb. Like, we know we're not supposed to say something mean, but we do it because we're not very smart. Outcome bias. Everybody loves a winner, but sometimes people just get lucky. And if somebody's been successful, we rarely question that. Right? If somebody's done a good job, especially you guys are all about to be like a new employee, right? You're gonna go work for a company and you're gonna be the young new person. And a lot of times you're not gonna want to ask questions. Don't be afraid to do that. Overconfidence. Success leads to placing too much faith in our own expertise. They did a study with like 500 categories, all these different things like predicting hurricanes, the price of gold, real estate, all these different things, right? And they took amateurs, people who are not experts, and pit them against experts. So if I said, okay, tell me how many hurricanes we're gonna have next year, you would go and work on that. And I'm an expert and I would tell you, and we'd have different opinions probably. How do you think the amateurs did compared to the experts?
Almost just as good, probably.
Yeah, they actually did a little bit better. Why? Because the experts thought they had it all figured out. They're like, I know how many hurricanes are going to happen. I've been doing this for 20 years. Whereas you, as the amateur, you're like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to go ask questions. The experts tend not to do that because you're an expert, right? So it's really easy to actually be better than experts if you put in a little work. Okay, this is my favorite one. This might be the only one you remember the name of. Okay, anybody been to Abilene, from Abilene? Okay. This happened because a family took a vacation to Abilene during the summer. Why the hell would you go to Abilene, Texas in the middle of the summer
Or
for a
if you go to
vacation?
Abilene for anything.
Yes, thank you. No offense. There's wonderful people there. I've been there many times. There's an Air Force base there, okay? But somebody suggested it. Hey, why don't we go to Abilene for vacation? And nobody said no. Because they thought, well, everybody in the family wants to go. And they went and they had a horrible vacation. They got back and they're like, that sucked. I thought it sucked too. But nobody said anything because they didn't want to go against the group. That's exactly what people do. We're too afraid to go against the group. We will say yes when we mean no. Who's guilty of that? Who's just be like, yeah, okay, I'll go. And you have no interest in going whatsoever. Okay? We all do this. We often don't talk about the elephant room. I'm picking on you. You're the only one here. You ever seen when a woman has lipstick on her teeth? Do you tell her? No. What happens when y'all get home? You see you have lipstick on your teeth in the mirror. You mad?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, why didn't you tell me? Because we don't know what to do. We're like, I don't know what to say. Yeah. Right? Or someone's got masks are helpful, right? You can't tell if people got boogers hanging or whatever, right? You ever get home? You're like, are you serious? I had a booger hanging the whole time I was talking to people, right? It's awful. Okay. This is also like, again, if you ever been in a group project, you're working on something, you're like, oh yeah, we got a good plan, we got a good idea. And then like halfway through, you're like, I don't think this is a good idea. But nobody will say anything. You just keep on with your crappy project, right? Okay. So don't be afraid to do that. There's only a few of these. Well, I like this mean. Any chance I can make fun of the Kardashians, I will. Dunning-Kruger. If you have like a limited knowledge of something, you will overestimate what you know about it. You'll think you're an expert. Conversely, if you don't know, or if you know a lot about something, you think you don't know very much, right? And that absolutely happens. You ever been studying with somebody, okay, and they obviously like get it, but they have a hard time explaining it? It's because they're not really confident. They think they don't know it, right? But they actually have it down. There's only a couple more. Okay. Easiest way to describe this. How many of you have taken a test and you did poorly on it? Whose fault is that? It is. Who do you really blame? Professor, right? It's always the professor's fault. Don't ever change your answer. Yeah, of course it's your fault. Now, look, not all of them are great. Okay, there can be problems. Some of the tests are really, really hard. Okay, I get all that. But you also could have studied more. You could have asked for help. You could have gone to the right. So really, it falls to you. We do this all the time, right? We do something good, so we get all the credit. We do something bad, it's somebody else's fault. Okay, almost all the time. In life, this is how you know you have a good or a bad boss. If you have a supervisor who's willing to say, I'm sorry I set you up for failure, that's a pretty good sign that they realize that they screwed up. Okay? If you've got one that says, hey, I told you what to do and you guys just sucked, it's probably not a good boss. Okay? I see it, I like sports, like you see that in coaching. A good coach will say, I didn't prepare the players. A bad coach will be like, I told them what to do and they just didn't do it. Okay? You can see that pretty easily. Status quo. Okay, we tend to prefer things as they already are. And if there's too many choices to make, we won't make any. People will just not decide anything, all right? This can lead to repeating mistakes. Yeah, because we'll just do the same thing over and over. Sunk cost. Okay, has anybody bought a car on their own? How'd it go, Caroline?
It was okay. It just took a lot of months for me to figure out exactly what I wanted.
Okay.
Before I purchased and then paid for all of it.
How'd the buying part go when you actually went to the dealership and all that?
Well, I drove to Louisiana.
Okay.
I already had all of the paperwork sent to me, so all I had to do was sign.
Okay, so you negotiated beforehand. How was the negotiation?
It was good, but it's kind of like they knew I wanted it,
Bingo.
but they told me they matched the price of the one that was in,
Oh.
that they said I wasn't really fond of.
Okay, good.
They matched it for me.
Good, good. Okay, so that's a pretty good outcome because you guys are going to buy cars pretty soon. You're going to buy your first house or whatever, and you're going to want it. You're like, I have to have this car or truck. I have to have this house. You're getting emotional, and the salespeople know that. They will absolutely play on your emotion. So you need to know when to cut your losses. Sometimes you absolutely just need to be like, no, I'm out, and walk away. And I bet you money they'll come back begging and meet you.
And that's my dad.
Yep.
My dad said, we always call it 9 o'clock. They'll shoot an offer, and my dad's like, I don't, like, that's not gonna be it. We're on the same page.
Yep.
And he'll stand up and clap his hands and say, let's go. And then they will be like, oh, no, wait. And then
Right.
that's when they'll be like, well, hold up, we'll see if we can crack some numbers.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Like you have to not make an emotional decision when you do this, okay? Which is hard to do, right? Because again, this is things we're all guilty of. I bought a truck this summer, and it was COVID, right? And it was all, we were doing over text and everything, and they gave me what I wanted for my trade-in, and he put in like an extra $1,000 fee right at the last minute. I was like, well, what's this? And he goes, well, there's new tires on the truck. I'm like, I'm pretty sure the tires come with the truck, bro. He's like, there's a diesel fee. I'm like, there's no diesel on truck this size. There's no fee, right? You need like commercial truck. And so I walked away. And my wife was like, you really want that truck? Just pay the $1,000. I was like, no, screw those guys, right? That's bullshit. And I walked away, and I don't do this very often, but I dropped the line on the guys, like, way to treat a veteran. You know, like, just getting a shot at, okay. And it totally worked out for me for the better. I found a truck I actually liked more, and it worked out, right, for the better. So be willing to walk away. That's a really hard thing to do. And it's not just buying something, all right? This can be work. This can be time you spent doing something. You're working on something, and you're like, man, this is a waste of time. I got to stop, okay? And it leads to rational decisions and paying too much. Temporal discounting, all right? Okay, if I offered you guys $500 today, or $1,500 in 6 months, which one are you taking? 500? Who's taking 500 today? Who's taking 1,500 in 6 months? Okay, that's good. Why are you taking 500 today? You need it now, right? Okay, yeah. Even though it's 3 times as much in 6 months. Summer's here, right? Hopefully most of the COVID crap is over. Taking a vacation. Okay, 1,500 is going to be better, but you need that 500 now. That tends to be what we do. We look for the instant gratification. We don't think about the long term. You guys know Kevin Hart, comedian? This happened to him on his first big comedy deal. He was doing stand-up. He was working at like a shoe store, okay? And somebody found him like, hey, we're going to do a special, and we're going to pay you $100,000. He was like, yes, okay, I need it now. I'm dead broke, blah, blah, blah. And his agent was like, no, we are not taking this deal. He's like, what? I don't have any money. You don't understand. He's like, no. What your worth is about $250,000 right now, okay? And that's what they got it to, but it took a while, right? And he did not want to do it, okay? But it totally worked out. And now he's got all the money in the world. We will downplay the negative consequences of the future, right? So you won't think about the $1,000 you could have had. You'll be like, nah, it's not important. It's an extra $1,000, right? Okay? So just realize that we often think about the short term only. We don't think about the long term. Again, hopefully you guys went through this. Oh, I forgot to change. This is the last one. What I did on this one was I actually like put it all down in the corner so it wasn't like all the other slides, just to see if it bothers anybody. I had another student, he's an engineer, he's like, I don't like that. It like immediately bothered him. Our desire for conformity is so powerful it can distort our view of reality at most basic level. Took a study of people, a group of people just like you guys, gave you these cards, and one of the lines was clearly longer than the other lines. And then they asked the question, which line was longer? And you knew which one it was, you saw it. Well, then they had another group of people in the study that were actors. And they started bringing up different lines. I think the other line was longer. What did the people in the study do?
Followed them.
They caved. They completely caved. Don't do that. Okay, if you know you're right, then stand up for yourself, okay? But we tend to just go along with the group. Okay, cool. All right, that was all of them again. Hopefully you guys went through that before you did this week's stuff. What did you guys learn this week about yourselves? Tell me about your assignments. Yeah?
Really careless about hearing, I guess.
You really, what? Say that again?
Careless, I guess, about hearing. Just, I don't know. It bothers me.
What, so what do you mean? Explain what you mean. Like you saw a lot of political stuff?
Just like the commercial on social media, commercials on the radio and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you only really hear about it, once every 4 years. It's this big. And
Right.
There
Yeah.
year round, I guess.
Okay, so what did you notice? Okay, so you're hearing all this political stuff, and what did you notice about you?
I just, kind of not aggravated, I just didn't want to hear it, kind of switch the channel or,
Yeah.
you know.
You didn't want to hear things you.
Yeah, I didn't.
Is it because you disagreed, or you just tired of it, or?
Just got tired of it, really.
Yeah. Okay.
Seen it.
Right. Okay. Cool. Good. Good. Why do you think that is?
I guess probably growing up, my parents and everyone, they got all wound up about it, and I just don't like seeing it now.
Yeah.
Cause and every time it got brought up, it was an argument. And
Yep.
people was disagreeing.
Yeah.
Could care less about it right now. I mean, when I'm older, I'll definitely care about it.
Yeah. You guys will probably come back around. Yeah. When it starts impacting like your livelihood, your job, or your profession, you know, whatever. Yeah, you get more involved, or your personal life and stuff. Yeah. Cool. Good. Good. What else? We got plenty of time.
I wrote mine about my advice, like, since I just got here, I've been looking at menus and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if I click on a website and it's ugly or there's typos or something, I'm immediately like, no.
Yeah, you're out, right? Okay. So this is unrelated. Be careful not to bring up wedding first. As soon as you say wedding, when you're looking at a venue, it like triples the cost. Just tell them you're looking at having an event. Try it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So even if the place might have been pretty, if you saw typos, you didn't like it.
Yeah, or like the website was just really poorly made.
Uh huh.
Or one of the big things is if they don't have their pricing on their website.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, no, I'm not calling you.
Which a lot of them probably don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what are you learning about yourself through that?
That I should probably like look past that stuff.
Okay, good. Maybe give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because to be honest, if it's like say somebody just has a nice ranch, you know, and they have
Yeah,
venues
it's
on it and
probably
stuff, they
cheaper.
probably don't have a great website. Yeah, doesn't mean they're not nice people or it's not affordable, but you were just like, screw these guys. It looks unprofessional.
Yeah.
That's good. We're gonna get into that for this week. What else? What'd you do? What'd you learn?
Saw a TikTok about people in their 20s, like 22 to 27. They
Huh.
don't really know their next move or what they're going to do next.
Okay.
And that's me, so I was like, okay, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
But they said that's really like the best time of your life to make a like risky choice or something
Uh-huh.
that you wouldn't do if you were stabilized. I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Yep.
now's the time you get to do that, so it's okay not now.
Yeah. Okay. So what'd you learn about yourself through that?
I want to take risks and I like a challenge, but I still don't know what I'm going to do.
Sure, sure. Yeah, your 20s are great. They're kind of a blur, right? Whether it's drinking related or not, your 20s are just kind of a blur because you're figuring out what you want to do in life, right? It took me like 20 years to get to where I want to be professionally, so don't panic, okay? Okay, cool. Is TikTok a great resource?
Probably not, but it was still a cool video.
Okay, so it pulled you in, right? You related to it.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, that's me. I
It
can
was
relate.
like an encouraging message.
Okay, cool. Did you find, okay, so that swayed you to take some risks? Yeah, you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing, I'm gonna go for it. Good for you. Yeah, because look, you guys are used to living very cheaply, okay, to be honest, right? So you can take those risks, okay? If you can pack up everything you own in your car, life's pretty good, I'll be honest, okay? They're just possessions, right? They don't really matter. Cool, good, I like it. What else?
TikTok got me to buy something.
TikTok got you to buy something. Oh my God. Okay, what did they get you to buy?
So I've been looking into setting up a streaming, so like a mic, webcam, and everything else. And they were like,
For
this-
what?
For just to stream, like video games or just stuff
Okay.
like that, just to stream.
Uh-huh.
They're like, this $40 mic is better than this $200 mic that people typically get for their streaming setup.
Okay.
And so I went onto the website and I looked at all the reviews and everything else and I ended up getting it.
Okay. Cool.
It works really well.
Is it actually better than the $200 mic?
Yeah, because my friend actually has that $200
Really?
mic and we compared it.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay. So you saw something, and so you weren't gonna buy the mic beforehand until you saw this
No,
video.
it's wonderful.
Okay. And then you went and compared it. So that's pretty good. Okay. But you wouldn't have spent the money otherwise. Right. Okay. Cool. What did you learn about yourself?
I can sometimes be a compulsive buyer.
Yeah. Right. Saw it. It's like, oh yeah, that's a great idea. I need that. Yeah, okay, good, fair enough. What else? Krista, what'd you do?
Long-term resident out there about Morgan Wallen and his racial slur.
Uh-huh.
And, well, every time we run into an article, I like reading the comments because those are usually pretty funny.
They're funny or terrifying, one of the two, yeah.
Well, it's pretty split. Some people are like, you know, well, they don't worry about it, they're not mad about it, and some are obviously. And I guess from my standpoint, you know, he did something wrong, but I did catch myself listening to one of his songs this weekend. So it's kind of like, I don't know what to do about that, but.
Okay, yeah. So how do you feel about it then? So are you a little conflicted then now?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, I just feel like we are in a time where people see everything, record everything, so like a simple slip up like that is kind of like, it's bound to happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's terrifying for you
I
guys.
was ignorant that the lady sat there and videoed him and had been doing it for months, waiting for him to slip up.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
but it was
think
like a
that's
neighbor,
an
right?
invasion of privacy.
Yeah, well, kind of,
That's,
yeah. There's, different states have different laws with what you can and can't do. But yeah, there can absolutely be repercussions for her in the long run, so.
I think
Yeah, because you look at the
money
timing.
that she got from it worth it.
Right, yeah, and did she lose a friendship and all that stuff and maybe make a few bucks? You know, you're looking at a short-term deal there, right? Instead of thinking about, well, this maybe is actually a nice person who screwed up.
Yeah,
You guys,
he's
I,
like 20-something years old, like he's a kid, like most people our age slip up and say stuff they shouldn't. And that's gonna ruin his career.
don't push send.
Yeah.
Do not push send. Okay, your Twitter, anytime you guys apply for jobs, first thing they're gonna do is see if you're on social media and see what they can find. Okay, and they're gonna go through all of them, right? I think you guys, because you've grown up with this stuff, I think you guys are pretty good at knowing what you should or shouldn't do, but you will burn somebody else if you don't like them, just like what happened. I think if you see somebody out at the bars being an ass and you don't like them, you'll film them, right? And then just sit on it and wait, or send it out right away, okay? Which is pretty terrifying, okay? Cool, all right. So let me ask you this. What do you think he should do?
I mean, he already did his part, like apologizing and stuff.
Did he do the apology?
Yeah.
Was it the standard, this is not who I am and I'm really sorry? Does that change your opinion? Does this standard apology thing ever like change your opinion or change your
Does
mind?
he know their agent is the one like wrote that apology and
Yeah,
told
because
him?
we don't know yet, because we just the agent saying like, just type this out.
Oh yeah, yeah. You'll see this unfortunately. I don't want to stereotype. You'll see this with athletes,
Yeah, that's what I
and
said.
it'll be like the most well-written document. I'm like, they didn't write that. Come on, like, I'd rather they speak from the heart. Say I screwed up, okay, or I'm not perfect or whatever. But okay, cool. What else? Hide in the back. What do you guys got?
I realize I just have a lot of email advertisements more than anything that catch my attention because I don't really watch TV.
Okay.
I listen to the radio.
Uh-huh.
And so email advertisements grab my attention more than anything.
Like things that get emailed to you, junk mail and stuff.
No, not, I mean, just like Target was a big one.
Yeah.
Just anything like that.
Okay. So somewhere along the lines, you gave me your email for a discount or a coupon or whatever, and it'll totally influence you, right? And then you find yourself shopping at Target.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Why do you think that is?
So I like to shop at Target.
Okay, so it's just pulling you in, right?
Yeah.
They already know. Okay, good. Yep. Caroline, what do you got?
So I did mine on politics and, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna say this to make it doesn't step on toes. But pretty much I just had, I was, pro-jobs.
Uh-huh.
Pro a lot of things.
Yeah.
And, we have seen some of those, be taken away.
Okay.
So, and just in the first day. So I was let's just say I was pro-Trump, okay?
Okay.
Plain and simple, pro-Trump.
Yeah.
And so when I see now like the things that he's doing after the fact,
Yeah.
that he opened up his own office now where he's dedicating like, still pushing his agenda and the agenda that was there.
Sure.
And then also now that he, just like endorsed a new, party,
Okay.
called America's First,
Uh-huh.
then, like, I just love seeing that stuff, and I share it, and I'm like, yes, go ahead.
Okay, so why? What makes you want to do that?
Just because I feel like things are shoved down everybody's throat. We were quiet for so long. Sometimes, like I just learned that, you know, if every other person can speak their truth and speak what they believe in, then shit, I'm gonna do it too.
Okay. So you're like, I'm not gonna hold back.
Well, and I'm not one of those that does it like hatefully most of the time.
Okay.
I mean, I just share the things that are going on with it now.
What's the reaction been? What do other people do?
Well, I have people on my Facebook that actually align with most of my same values.
Sure. Okay.
So, and the people that don't, then, we just have split ways. That's the easiest way to put it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I would I would tell you is my household is a split household politically, and I actually get a lot of students to ask me about this because some of you cannot afford to cut off half the dating pool, which is mostly what I tell the cadets at ACOM, right? Okay. So keep an open mind about that stuff. Okay. There's a lot of politicians who are married to people of different parties. Okay. So yeah, it can be hard. Some things we don't talk about, and some things we have great conversations about, and sometimes we get mad at each other. Okay. But yeah, it happens. Okay.
I think it was just frustrating. The main thing is that someone was picked apart for every little thing that they've done, and then we see now that like you're not really, the media has backed off, but they are still pressing on that one person,
Sure. Yeah.
and that person's not even in the leadership role anymore.
What are we talking about? It's about playing on your emotion, right?
Yes.
It's what gets clicks and what gets views. And it's literally playing on your emotion to see if they can do that. Good or bad, whether you agree or disagree. How many of you guys see clickbait like on a website and hit it and click on it? Does anybody do that?
I used to be real bad about it, but now I try not to.
Okay, but what was pulling you in about it? Why were you doing it for?
A lot of it would just be stuff like I recently looked up or like just something like that, or watched a video of it and it has something to do with that.
Right, so it's related.
I click it to see,
Okay.
what it is, and then I just get sucked down.
Yeah, then an hour later you're like, what the hell? It's like getting roofied, man. Clickbait pulls you in. You're like, where the hell did an hour go?
Here, and over there.
Right? Okay, cool. Good for you. Anna?
I saw somebody right in the car with a mask, and like, it made me so mad for no reason.
What if they're like
Like, for real.
Grubhub, DoorDash? Like they have to.
What if they just forgot to take it
It's like a
off?
guy in my neighborhood.
Hold on. I want to hear you finish.
There's a guy in my neighborhood with a big old jacked up truck and the rims and tires and the hat and the sunglasses and the mask.
Okay.
And I'm like, you had it all going for you, and you had to put a mask on your face.
So you think, okay, it might be a good looking dude. I like his truck, and then you see him with a mask on, and you're out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get mad.
Okay. So what'd you learn about yourself?
I get mad easily.
That's hilarious. That's a good thing to know.
But it was probably, it was because I was already in a bad mood and I didn't feel good. That just made it worse.
Bingo,
That's what
right?
I do.
Okay. Bingo.
And you probably had to call somebody and talk
That's
about
a
it.
good mood. Good things happen, bad mood, bad things.
Right. Exactly. So you were in a bad mood, and it just made it worse.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, but again, just because he's got a big truck doesn't mean he's not trying to make some extra money, right? Okay, maybe he's got Dairy Queen in the back and he's taking it to somebody's house.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought about that.
yeah, that's I was just,
Like I see new cars and they don't have the tags on them, but they have like the little plates from the dealership. Then I know that it's like one of the people that works there and they're moving the car.
Sure.
Like in Madisonville, Henson has like a million dealerships there.
Right.
So like they're constantly moving vehicles around town and I'm like, okay, they would have to wear a mask just because.
I've seen a lot of that, right?
Like, it's not gonna do a difference because you're in a freaking vehicle.
Right.
And you're not.
Touching
like,
it.
You're already like in a confined space, like if your drugs are gonna be in there, they're already gonna be in there.
Yeah, but again, there's just policy, right? So if the company says wear it, you wear it.
I
Okay.
usually think that they just forgot to take it off because I do that. Like I'll walk in the house and be like, why am I still wearing it?
Yeah, feel stupid. Yeah,
If
yeah.
I walk across the parking lot with it, I'm feeling stupid.
Okay. So but we do these things all the time. Yeah.
Literally in Athens, I did not wear it.
Yeah.
At all. At all.
Yeah. Okay.
You will not catch me. There's only certain places like Target. I won't wear it at Target because it's a policy with them. But I just love Target. So.
Okay, so if you guys, nobody likes the mask, right? Okay. How many of you guys are in Target or HEB and you see somebody without one? What do you think?
Oh, I get so mad.
Right? Why?
My fiance gets really pissed.
Okay, but why do you get mad?
If we're in Target, I feel like most people wear them though.
But
Because they're happy to be there.
and they should be, okay, fair enough. But what do you think if you see someone in Target without one?
I feel like they're being like rude.
Why?
Because they're not, first of all, they're not following policies, and,
You have to do it, right?
yeah,
Why aren't they?
I've done it a couple times going in there, and people give you dirty looks.
Yeah, it's especially if they're older. Hold on. Say it again. Start again.
I was at the dealership getting my truck fixed one time, and there was this guy saying that he went into Target without a mask, and the employees like followed him and sanitized everything.
Why didn't they just ask him to put a mask on?
usually they ask you when you walk in.
That's our store policy. We have to ask.
Where do you work?
Petco.
Okay. Yeah, I walked in. This was months ago. I was going into Lowe's and I grabbed something quickly and I just totally forgot. I think I hadn't been somewhere where I needed to wear one, and I just walked in and forgot. And as I was checking out, I realized it, and I was like, oh, people were totally looking at me. And at like Lowe's, there's a lot of like construction workers and stuff.
Yeah.
They're grabbing stuff and they're coming in and out. And that's where I noticed it the most. We're just a handful. Well, it's not very many, but a couple people won't be. But I was fully getting looks. I didn't think twice about it. And I always smile at people and stuff like that. And I was leaving. I was like, oh shit, they were like mad, right? Okay. Yeah, you get mad if you have to follow the rules and other people aren't, even if you don't agree with them. Even if you're like, screw it, I don't like masks, but I'm wearing mine, so you better wear yours.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a really weird double standard that we do to other people.
It bothers me, I think, because like I feel like it's a courtesy thing. Like even if you don't know if it works, like it might work, and I don't want to get sick.
Sure.
Like just leave it on.
Yeah, that's a whole other can of worms. I have a buddy who's a physician, and we can talk all about it. And I got my second shot yesterday. I'm vaccinated. Sore. God, I'm sore.
So why do you wear a mask vaccinated?
I have to. Yeah, policy. I mean, I wear this one, which I think, I don't want the video again, but it works. It's been approved, but some people are like, those don't work. I'm like, well, honestly, this thing gets pretty nasty after a while, so I know that it works to some extent. So, and I try to stay away from you guys. And I want you to be able to freaking understand me, because I can't imagine you guys going through classes where everybody's got like the tight mask and it's muffled and all that. So, yes, ma'am.
In Vegas, my boss just got back from there, and she said that they were on the streets, and you have to wear one outside. It's kind of like on campus. You wear one everywhere.
Yeah.
If you are not wearing one on the streets, then you are getting chased by cops,
Mm.
and they're like trying to write you fines because you're not wearing one.
Hmm.
She said we got chased like 10 times, okay? And then she said in the restaurant they're only letting like 29 people in there at a time. And you have to wear a mask at your table, even while you're eating, you just pull it down
Wow.
to eat, and then every time you take your fork away, then you gotta put it back up.
Well, so in a lot of Vegas they live and die by tourism, right? So they want the older crowd. They want people coming from other countries. They want international travel. So they want people there. So they're going to try and do everything they can, probably. But again, could be state
And
mandated.
then like in
City-
Oklahoma, nobody's wearing a mask at all. 'Cause I
That's
checked
not
them.
surprising, you know.
And they're like,
Yeah.
because we don't, nobody comes
Wear
here.
masks in college towns.
Yeah. What do you got?
I did mine over where I work, and I'm a kindergarten teacher.
Oh, okay, good for you.
So we're talking about like our Valentine's party this week.
Uh-huh.
And stuff, and like we're like, oh, we want to decorate and stuff. And I have this coworker that is in the room next to me that I do not like.
Uh-huh.
Like we don't like her or whatever.
Okay.
And I found myself like she would mention now like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and I'd be like, well, I'm not gonna do that. And she'll be like, or I don't want to do this because of this. And I'll be like, okay, well now I'm gonna do that.
Yep. What'd you learn about yourself? That's a good one.
I don't know, I'm petty sometimes.
Right? And
I mean,
would it be better if you tried to get through it? Could you be the better person if you were like, okay, I'm gonna try?
I could really try. I really could.
Yeah.
But part of my friend, she was the biggest bitch I've ever met.
Look, this happens, unfortunately. Yeah, for me, it's hard. I'm to the point now where I'm a little older. If people don't like me, I'm like, well, that's your fault. But it used to really bother me. I'm a pretty outgoing dude, and I like people and all that stuff. It used to really bother me, and now I'm like, you're lost. I don't care. I'm pretty awesome, right? And humble.
But it doesn't bother me, but I'm like, you know, like each other. Okay.
Yeah, and look, it's gonna happen. You're gonna go work somewhere, and you're gonna think, I'm a pretty good person, and somebody's not gonna like you, right? People will let you down. It sucks. I teach leadership classes. We talk a lot about that. Did you go yet? What do you got?
I really like
Oh yeah. Anybody not go? We got everybody.
Normally people don't like me from like just meeting, well like before they meet. So like it's just the vibe I give off, they don't like
Why do you think that is?
It's just the vibe I give off. I just sit there and I like this.
Oh, you're just judging people with your eyes, right? You
And
just
then people are like, they feel like attacked. I'm like, sorry. I don't mean to, but it's just the way that my face sits that you gotta meet me. You gotta give me a chance.
there's a name for that. I'm not gonna bring it up.
I'm not too. I'm like, oh, no, we can't be friends. I just know. And then all of a sudden we become best
You
friends.
do that
That's
on
right.
social media too. Like you'll see a girl, you're like, I don't like her.
Oh, social media is the worst. I'm glad you guys brought up TikTok and stuff like that. It is a horrible place. It's a horrible place. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Okay, so this was good. I hope was this useful?
Yeah.
Was it kind of interesting and fun? I hope so. Okay, so here's what we're doing this week. I want you guys to pick a college or school of agriculture, a different university, right? And you're gonna research what they have online, what you see. So check out their social media, check out their website. Eventually, we're gonna compare it to what we have at SAM, and we'll start working on some stuff that maybe we can actually create and use here. So I want you to pick a school, College of Ag, out of state, in state, I don't care. I would encourage you to look at others outside of Texas. Big school, small school, I don't care. But I want you to see if you can find ones that are pretty strong. Like you look at their website and you think, man, that's pretty impressive, okay? Or their social media, they've got a strong presence, right? And I'll put all the details and give it out of what I want you guys to do, but I just want you to pick a College of Ag, School of Ag, and do as much research as you can about how they run their, what their presence looks like, social media, online, do they do their advertisements, do they put billboards up or whatever, how do they recruit? So just find out whatever you can. Maybe it's a school you thought about going to, maybe it's a school you don't like, whatever, okay? But just see if you can find some strong ones so we have some good examples. And then if you notice any things that are like flaws, right? Like if they have this awesome website, but there are typos, right? Just see what we can find out. Sound good? Okay? And then ultimately we'll start taking all the stuff we've been doing, we're gonna start working on some stuff for SAM. Sound good? And ultimately, hopefully, the point is for us to maybe use some of this stuff. And we actually need your guys' help. Okay? Because Dr. Ulrich is probably not on TikTok. Okay? But potential students are, right? There's 16-year-olds out there right now trying to figure out where they want to go to school. Right? So we want to bring them here. Any questions for me? Thanks for coming to class on Monday. Why don't we have Super Bowl on Saturday? Just move it, right? Move it. It'll be a big party, everybody's good. Thank you. Have a great week, and I will see you guys next Monday.